I don't know.
Confliction.
You know, I make up.
Yo, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in.
What's up? What's up?
We getting ready to start, man. We're gonna wait till some people come in the room. As soon as you come into the room, just go ahead and like it and share. We're gonna give it a second. We're gonna get started here in a minute. Yeah, you know what this is. Got another episode of the Simply Marriage Ball Dropping Chronicles. So once y'all get in, just let me know that you're in. And also, tell me what y'all drinking tonight. Last night we had a great episode. Y'all tuned in. Y'all see them. There's our guest for the night, a young couple. And we're gonna get started here. But I'm gonna wait for some people to join us, and then we're gonna get started. So, man, get y'all cup, man. Come join us. Let's kick off this other episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Marriage Chronicles, man, and let's get it going. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? All right, thanks for tuning in, Javon. Thanks for tuning in, Megan. Y'all go ahead and share it as soon as y'all come in, and then we'll get started. Yeah. All right. Yeah. What's going on, Vaughn? What's going on, Megan? What's going on, Manju? What's up, cousin? Appreciate you tuning in, Manju. All right, we're gonna give it one more minute, then we're gonna get the show started. But like I said, I always appreciate you guys tuning in, representing, supporting your boy, and let's keep this wave going. You drinking vodka all day? You ain't got the Ciroc Obama? Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, Mom. All right, we're gonna get started. All right, just 1 second. Y'all know I got to kick off my intro, and then we can get started. So we're going to start the show off. Yo, welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. And today, on the Simply Ball Dropping Marriage Chronicles, we got a young couple that's joining us today live in set. And you know how we do on the Simply Ball Dropping Marriage Chronicles. Normally, I give a great introduction, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves. But first off, I got my co-host riding shotgun with me again tonight, Miss Canisius Sappington.
What's up,
she's
y'all?
over there representing in that Simply Ball Dropping hoodie. And y'all don't see me right now, but I got on the same hoodie she got on, so it's only right that, this is a marriage chronicle, so we got on the red for love. So without further introduction, I ain't gonna take up much more of your time, but I want to welcome our guest to the show. First off, I want to welcome Tyrell Williams to the show.
What's up, people?
All right, Tyrell, go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself.
All right, everybody. Well, my name's Tyrell Williams. I'm
K-Sap's son-in-law. So, you know, we just here tonight, me and my wife, Amber, to just give y'all a little insight about ourselves.
All right. Well, that was a great introduction. Now, welcome to the show. I mean, let me tell you something before we get started on this one. You know, Amber, she was supposed to do a show with me before for her YouTube channel, but she didn't want to rock out with me. But now we got her on the Marriage Chronicles, and she ain't got no choice. So please welcome to the show, Miss Amber Williams.
Oh my God. Hey y'all, it's the Amber Williams. Sure y'all know who I am. Their daughter. I'm who y'all been waiting for. I'm about to turn this podcast up. This is what the podcast been missing. Yeah, y'all ain't heard nobody else. He ain't been missing nobody else but me.
Yeah.
So I'm here now. We're about to have a good night. And I would like a red hoodie at the conclusion of our segment, please.
See how kids are, y'all. High demands. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, you know, wanting to come on the show. It's only fitting to have y'all on the show because, like I've told people before, you know, with this podcast, it goes hand in hand. And like I told people, and I'm going to say it again, when I first got the podcast started, my son was my first podcast guest, and he got the show off and running. And then my wife, she opened up her own business, and she was on the podcast. And it's only right. And then my son-in-law, he has a YouTube channel, The Fitness Chefs.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, him and his partner was on the podcast. And the only one that didn't grace their presence was my daughter over here. But now she's on the spotlight now. So we're going to get it started. And I just wanted to give y'all a little insight on that. But first off, we're gonna get off, and we're going to start it off by saying we appreciate their time. We appreciate them, you know, taking time out of their day to come on the Simply Ball Dropping podcast to share their love story. So, first off, we're going to start off with Tyrell. Now, Tyrell, I want you to tell the people, you know, how it started. Matter of fact, give them your age. How old are you, Tyrell?
I'm 30.
He's 30 years old, career-oriented person, got a lot going for himself. And just tell the people when you first laid eyes on Amber and how things got started.
Well, it's crazy. Me and Amber, when we first met each other, it was kind of like, you know, we used to kind of go back and forth like on Twitter, because that's back when I used to be on social media heavy. And then one day I ended up meeting her when we was at this party at Sam Houston. And at that time, it was kind of like real brief, but, you know, she was cool. And then about two years passed, like 2 years. It was like a ghost. Like I had never seen her again, like after the party. So I happened to be working at Subway, like one of my jobs at the time. And I mean, I was just making the sandwiches like I always do. And then Amber came through the line. So, you know, me being mean, I was like, well, I'm gonna shoot my shot. So I'm just talking to her, just talking. I have no idea that this is the same, you know, girl that I met 2 years prior. So at the end, she like, you really gonna act like you don't remember me? And then when I, you know, kind of zoned in on her, I'm like, oh, this Amber. Because at the time when I first met her, she had the short haircut, the Jada Pinkett or something.
It was
Look, then she came back with the long hair, so it just kind of, you know, kind of disguised her a little bit, and that's how we kind of picked it up from there.
So the 2 years you said you met her 2 years or a year ago, and through this whole 2 years, like, what was you thinking? Okay, I met this person, but I never connected with her. I was on Twitter with her. So how was them in between? What was them 2 years like before you ran back into her?
So at the time, it was like real brief for myself, you know, with my conversation with Amber at the time at the party, because I was there. I was trying to get on my frat or whatever. Okay. So I was really there, like, okay, I'm trying to, you know, do what I can to get in my fraternity at the time. So after that time passed, it was just a process of me like becoming like really involved at school, like being in all these organizations and stuff at Sam Houston. And then, so time just flew by. And then, so when I finally met her, it was like, okay, cool. So now we can see where this can go now.
Okay. Well, I was looking at Amber's facial expressions. We must got some discrepancies here. So, I mean, the way she's over there looking, so I just want to see if her story aligns up with your story. So, Amber, let's go ahead and take it back from day one when you first met Tyrell.
Yes, because, I have details. He was kind of skating over some things, so let's get some clarification here. So, we met, I was a freshman. I don't know what his classification was at the time. I guess technically maybe a junior or something.
Yeah, I would say somewhere around there.
Okay, but anyways, I was a freshman, and we met, like he said, like via social media. He probably saw me I think on the yard, because at the time he was in one of these organizations that was selling t-shirts, and they suckered me into getting one of these little t-shirts from them. So I bought a t-shirt, little $10 t-shirt, and I got back to my dorm, and he was already in my DMs.
Oh.
So it was a brief conversation, and he was just kind of like, "Oh, what's your classification?" I was like, "I'm a freshman," and he was like, "Oh, you young, like we're not all in college," and that was kind of the end of that. And then I ran into him again at the party. Well, I ran into him at the party. He kind of played me to the left. Like, he was just looking at me like, "What you want?" And I was like, "Hey, might have been a little tipsy at the time, but I was real talkative," and he was just kind of like, "Why is she in my face?" So I was like, whatever. So I left him alone. And then, like he said, we didn't really cross paths like that. Like, when you're at school, you might see people, but you don't necessarily just...
It's so big. Different people.
Exactly. And we didn't necessarily hang out with the same people. He ended up crossing Alpha during that time. And then my sophomore year, during spring break, I did go in Subway. I stayed at Sam because I was online and I was still working. And I went up to Subway on my lunch break. Fun fact, I love Subway. So, this is fate. So I went through the line and I had in some headphones, and he was talking to me, and I wasn't really paying him no attention. I thought he was asking about the sandwich, and I was like, "Yeah, I want ham. Yeah, I want it toasted." Like, what is he talking about? And then he ended up kind of trying to shoot a shot, like he said. We exchanged numbers, but I was just kind of like, first of all, you played me last year. Like, you didn't know who I was at that party, and now you trying to talk to me like you don't recognize me. I know I got some bundles, but dang, I look the same. And so I called him out. I was like, "Are you serious? You act like you don't know me?" He's like, "Oh." And from there is where we pretty much started our journey.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Now, some people on IG want to know what school was y'all attending when y'all met?
Sam Houston State University.
Shout out to Sam Houston State University. Okay, let's go back to the subway scene. Tyrell said that he worked at Subway, and on that particular day, Amber, what made you go to that particular Subway?
If you live in Huntsville, you know that Subway is the main subway to go to, because it's on it's so close to the campus. It's on Sam Houston Ave, and at the time, my job was off of campus. It was on a segment of campus, so it was just easy for me to go to at the time.
Okay. Was you aware that he worked at that Subway?
No, I don't think so.
So when you walked in Subway that day, was you caught by surprise? Like, "Oh wow, this is the guy that I've been exchanging conversation on Twitter with"?
I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't was like, "Oh my gosh." I was just like, "Oh, that's him." And I mean, at this time, you gotta realize Tyrell was the president of his fraternity's chapter. So it's I would see him at events, and he would speak and stuff like that. So it's and we're in college, he's very noticeable. I mean, he's tall and bald. There's not a lot of people walking around looking like him.
Okay. So Tyrell, let me ask you. So when she came in the Subway and you're working and you see this particular young lady that steps in there and you say, "Man, that's the girl that I've been, DMing, going on Twitter, exchanging conversations." What was that feeling like when she walked in after the 2 years that y'all didn't see each other?
I mean, at first, I didn't even recognize that this was the same girl, so it was just normal. It was just like somebody wanting a sandwich and me trying to shoot my shot. But then that's when Amber, made me realize who she was, kind of reminded me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it is." So that's kind of what it was. It actually built up a few weeks after that. So I would say about a month passed, because it's kind of, at the time, like Amber said, she was online, so she was busy, and it was when we would exchange text a little bit, I would say something, she may say something back, I respond, and then she just go ghost. So I'm like, okay, I ain't in the business of, to chase somebody who don't want to, pursue anything. So that's what I thought it was. But then finally, Amber hit me up after some time, and then she kind of informed me what was going on, and then that's when I was understanding, because I've been through it. So I was like, all right, cool. So that's when we just kind of kicked it that whole summer. Like, we just kicked it. Like, there wasn't no titles, no none of that. We were the only people in Huntsville. Pretty much everybody had left, so it was just me and her. So we just chilled all summer, and then we just kind of got to know each other over that time. So.
It's kind of crazy that it seems like every young person that I have on the podcast, when they're talking about relationships, they always talk about no titles. Is that a younger generation thing now that people say that it's no titles?
No, I was saying like it was early, so it's like we just met each other, re-met each other a month prior. So it's like you're not going to just rush into something and say, okay, now we together.
Yeah.
Cause this time we like trying to get to know each other to make sure this the correct thing for us.
And I will say, I'm not gonna say that's a younger generation thing because it's people in their 30s and 40s in situationships.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I will say in college, you talk to people. That's what they call it. Like, you talk for a long time. Like, it's not a lot of people who are honestly in full-blown relationships. Like, you will know two people and they've been talking for 2 years. And that person is still not claimed or whatever. So it wasn't, we reconnected spring break. That was March. And we were together by June.
Yeah,
officially.
So it wasn't a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got a question from Instagram for Amber. Amber, did you find him attractive when you first met him?
Sure. Yeah. I think he looked the same.
Okay.
I mean, but elaborate on that. Like, the question was asked, did you find him attractive when you first met him? Like, elaborate on that. I mean, that could be the quick answer, yeah, sure. But elaborate on that. What was attractive about him?
Because they say it's the physical attraction first.
Y'all shallow. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, he's got a nice face. I got the little beard going. We tall. We chocolate. I don't really go for lighter hued men. No offense, Mr. Simply Ball Dropping. That's not my cup of tea. I like my men to have a little pigment to them.
I got something for y'all.
I don't know. That's just a personal preference of mine. Yeah.
But you wasn't always like that, Amber.
What you mean?
We
ain't even about
back,
to do
back
this.
in the days, you did have a little light skinned boy that you was talking.
Like 7th grade.
But it doesn't matter. But you still went down that road.
I was like,
so
14.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, she didn't know herself that well. Okay. And a lot of people saying shout out to the Chocolate Brothers. So
Exactly.
you got somebody in your corner, really. So so now I'm gonna ask Tyrell that same question. So when you first met Amber, I know y'all met, at a function, and then she came into your workplace. Did you find her attractive when you first saw her, and what attracted you to her?
Yeah, I would say, of course, I found her attractive. I would feel like anybody who wouldn't say that about someone you're dating, then they will be lying. Because I do think appearance is a big thing. But I found her attractive, and then also, Amber have a good smile. So that's kind of what made me want to connect with her and try to explore the opportunity of being with her at that time.
And Tyrell likes petite women. Fun facts. So that checked his little box off.
I mean, everybody has their preferences.
So that's a true statement.
Yeah.
So you like your women petite?
I think all women are beautiful. Let me just put that out there first. But my preference for what I see, myself with and what I want, petite women.
Yeah, I respect that because, I tell my wife all the time, it's certain women that I like, and we've had discussions about this married at first sight.
Yeah.
And when she asked you about the physical stuff to it, right? I gotta see you physically first.
Yeah.
Because I can't be matched up with somebody that's not my criteria. You might meet the criteria that I want in a woman, but if your physical attraction is not there, then I can't get past that.
Yeah.
I agree. But I feel like as a woman, women can kind of sacrifice their quote unquote preferences for men sometimes. Like, you will overlook like, you really ain't that cute, but your personality. Do you think?
Exactly.
I think
I
as
think
a woman,
so.
I've compromised some of my standards before, but it's just like, what? I ain't gonna lie.
It's
Y'all
not-
don't be lying. Like everybody you dated or talked to is just a 10.
Oh no. Hey, I talk about it all the time because I can go
Yeah.
back at some of the women that I,
And
you
you
know,
be like,
involved
what was I
with.
thinking?
Like, what was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? And I'm being real. You know what I'm saying? You look at it like that, but that's great. So now we're gonna speed past the subway. So after the subway visit, how did things transpire? And I'm gonna start off with Amber.
After Subway, like he said, I was finishing up online. I crossed Delta in April. So that was like another month. Like he said, my communication on my end wasn't the best, but I was busy. And I knew he probably thought I was like trying to dodge him, but I really wasn't. I was just busy. So towards the end, when I was pretty much finishing up and about to cross, is when I finally told him like, hey, I'm online, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And after that, we just kind of started, the communication got more steady. I crossed, you know, like he said, at that point, it's about to be May now. It's summertime. We have free time. And we honestly just like hit the ground running. Like we was around each other
Right,
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time, yeah. And you don't have anything else to do in Huntsville in the summer besides hang out at other people's apartments and go to whatever little small kickbacks might be happening. And we kicked it strong.
Okay, so
And that same summer, we went to Maryland, if y'all remember. But we went to Maryland that summer. In like July.
July of that summer. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right, because that's when we first heard about Tyrell. That's the name came up then, and I was like, oh, okay.
So fast forward, now that Amber has put that out there, now is there anything that you would like to add on to that, Tyrell?
Yeah, I would say, you know, we kicked it big time. Like we had fun. Like we recognized, like we truly had fun with each other. And it wasn't even so much like we were just driving to Houston or nothing. Like we were finding fun in Huntsville. But then, you know, in that same time, you know, we had to ask those difficult questions. Like, what are your non-negotiables? And I'm going to tell you mine. So that way we can go ahead and get an understanding like, okay, this is not what you're dealing with. This is not what I'm dealing with. And if we feel like, you know, we can, do that, then pretty much, okay, we'll go ahead and be in this relationship. But we got that established first, because there's no point, you know, of us wasting time or playing with each other's feelings.
All right, so since you mentioned the non-negotiables, what was your non-negotiables?
But my stuff has always been like this. You know, the appearance is cool, but I'm real big on like, do you have, you know, plans set for yourself? Like, do you show me that you can go after what you're saying that you want? Like with Amber, she told me I want to be a nurse, and from everything that I saw, that's what she was working towards. So I can respect that. So I need somebody to not only, you know, have these goals, but actually show me that you're going after it. And then two, you know, I grew up around all women. It's like a majority women in my family. So I was like, you gotta know how to cook. And if you can't, I can respect it, but I need to know that you at least willing to learn. You know, because I'll sit there, like I would sit there and I would try your food, like even if this is your first time, you know, doing it, but I respect that you trying to, you know, get out there and improve your cooking skills and stuff like that. So, and then another thing is just being able to compromise, like saying that you're okay to compromise. There's going to be some things that we're going to ask of each other that I don't necessarily, you know, care to do, or it's not how I've done it in the past. But if this, you know, you care about this so much, then I'm willing to compromise and make this happen. So.
All right, well, great. Hey, that's a great rundown of the non-negotiables. Now, Amber, I got to ask you the same question. Now, what is your non-negotiables?
My first non-negotiable, which this should be everybody's, but I made it clear I wasn't playing around. That Tyrell wasn't gonna play around with me. It's gonna be no outside activity, no outside texting, no talking to your ex or whoever you used to talk to. Like I made it clear, nipped it in the bud. We in college, I know how this goes. I've been through this rodeo before. We're not doing that. That was first non-negotiable. Second would be, honestly, I don't think I had like a list, because he kind of is like a kind of a well-kept man. Like he's not like a normal, like I didn't have to tell him like, oh, you need to be clean. Tyrell's a very clean person. I didn't have to ask him to help cook. He already knew how to cook. He liked to cook at that point. So I don't think I really had like a big like list for him. it was just that and being able to communicate and like he said, like meet me in the middle on some stuff, because a lot of stuff, like just by nature, we're opposites.
Okay, that's great. And you know, for the people that's listening, and like especially the young couples that are in relationships, I mean, that's something to think about. I mean, non-negotiables. I mean, that's something that you might want to think about and lay it on the line when y'all first start, you know, kicking it with each other. And like you'll say, no titles. So we're going back to this no title thing. So when did you feel that the title changed from no titles, that this is what it is?
It's actually around the time when she went to Maryland. Because that's when, you know, we kind of expressed our feelings for each other. You know, I initiated it. And then at that time, we decided to make it official.
Okay, when you talk about initiated, you know we got to elaborate. So when you initiated it, how did you come to her with your proposal?
Asked me to be his girlfriend.
Yeah, so she was
Not
gone.
the proposal.
Yeah,
Just
I'm just using that word.
Oh,
So pretty much she had went to Maryland. We had, you know, before, you know, she went to Maryland, we had kicked it all summer. We was with each other like 7 days a week, like nonstop. I would go to work, you know, she would go to work, and then outside of that, we was pretty much just around each other. So when she left in Maryland, I was just kind of like,
It really hits you, huh?
Yeah.
It really hits you.
Yeah.
It really
So
hits you.
that's when I ended up texting her. I can't remember the specifics of it, but at that time I told her, you know, pretty much, you know, I cared about her. You know, I felt like I loved her at that time, and if she felt the same, and then we made it official.
Okay, that's great. Now, Amber. Now, what with him saying that, and now, you know, I know it's been a while, but for him to re-say that again, when he presented that to you, how did that make you feel?
Oh my goodness. Y'all know I'm not a mushy person. But
at all.
At all.
Yeah.
But it was nice. It's refreshing to have a man be able to express himself and be open and, you know, be vulnerable with you.
You use big words, vulnerable.
Oh my
Big
God.
words, vulnerable. So, in that situation, when he, you know, expressed his love and his feelings, what was your response to that?
This is a while ago, so I'm not gonna act like I remember like verbatim what I said, but I reciprocated. I was just like, you know, I'm feeling you too, little daddy.
Little daddy. so Tyrell, she call you little daddy, huh? So
Hey,
Tyrell.
Anybody knew Amber at that time? That was little mama. Little mama.
And anybody that knows Amber, you know Amber is she's kind of reserved. She's kind of laid back. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, she's not a mushy person. So I think a lot of things that people in relationships now, if a man would present that to somebody like Amber and she don't respond, they might take it like, wow, man, you know, she ain't got no love for me. But that's just her personality.
Yes.
And, you know, she don't mean no harm by it. And I'm glad that Tyrell was able to accept that, knowing how Amber was, because like you said, they had kicked it for the whole summer and he knew, you know, what she was all about. So in that same time, she goes to Maryland. Tyrell, you sitting there by yourself. These feelings get. So when she got back to you, how did you feel when she came back from Maryland? How did you feel then?
Well, I'm sure I was excited. I mean, this was a long time ago, so I can't remember you know, like I said earlier, the specifics, but I'm sure I was excited.
You was excited.
Yeah.
Man, that's a great feeling. And for somebody to open up themselves like that, especially a male, and I tell people, you know, I got feelings, you know, I'll open myself up, and I know how, you know, when your feelings get involved, you want to keep it straight, you know, straight and to the point. So Amber, he's explaining, you know, displaying his feelings for you, and y'all made it official. So when y'all made it official, how did things transpire after that? After it was official, like,
Boy, it was about rocky as hell.
Yeah,
like I would say, like our first. Honestly, I would say maybe a year, like our first year.
Yeah, for sure.
To sum it up, like not like
It was
a learning curve, like really like learning him, learning me, us learning how to argue, because when we used to argue, baby, it used to get dramatic. It was just real melodramatic. It was like, oh, da, 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 da. And then he like grabbing his two little things he got in my apartment, him leaving, going to his apartment that's 6 minutes away, and then us making up again by that night. Like, we used to do little silly stuff like that. And it was what they call it? Growing pains.
Growing pains.
Growing
Because,
pains.
I mean, when you're young, you just pretty much, when you arguing, you're like, I'm going to say whatever I want to say. Because your intent is to hurt this other person feeling. But, you know, as you get older, you're like, this don't even make any sense. So let's just have a, you know, constructive, you know, argument. Let's say, you know, how you feel about a certain situation, what exactly you're upset about. Make sure I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm a big person on, like, when you say something to me, I'll say, well, if I'm hearing you correctly, is this what you're saying? So that way we can make sure we're on the same, you know, we understanding it the same way. Because sometimes you can say something, but my interpretation of it may be a little bit different just because the way you was raised, who you hung around. So you got to take all those things into account. So, you know, once me and Amber start doing that, that's when we realize, okay, this is way better. Like, we don't have to be yelling our voice like we used to. Because it used to just be just crazy stuff just for no reason.
Going up. You know, and that's a good point, because just being in a relationship for over 20 years, it's the same thing. We can remember those times when you just say something and you like, what was we so mad about? Like, what happened? Do we even remember what triggered it?
Right.
You know? So that's good that you learned, you know, from that. And still learning, because you're going to continue to learn.
So now we got a question. At one point, we'll get off into that, but as the relationship, you know, was moving forward, at what point, I'll start with Tyrell, at what point did you realize that she could be the one?
My decision on that one, I felt like it was kind of abrupt. Like, if I was on the outside looking in, I probably would have felt that way. But, you know, I felt the time was right. It happened to be around Thanksgiving one year. And then I was like, okay, I'm about to do this. She had no clue. I did not plan this. This was just, I'm about to do it. And she'll tell you, I'm a person, like, when I say I'm going to do something, at this point, I'm full steam ahead. Sometimes she tell me, you just have to just slow down just a little bit. But at that time, I said, I feel like this is right. So I went and bought a ring. And then I just came up with a plan, like how I wanted to do it. And then I ended up ordering these Coke bottles. At the time, Coke had these bottles where you can just put, you know, different words on it or names. So I pretty much just, you know, made a sentence with these bottles. Amber, will you marry me? And just put them in the fridge. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna sit it in there and see what happens. So I'm upstairs in the bed. At the time, we stayed in this loft style apartment. So I'm upstairs in the bed, and I asked her, you know, can she go get me something to drink or something, or go get her something to drink or something. So she went downstairs, and I'm just sitting up. Well, yeah, she went downstairs. I'm sitting upstairs in the bed. I put the TV on mute. I'm just waiting. I'm like, okay, let's see. It's silent. And so I'm like, damn, what happened to Amber? So finally, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna go downstairs. So I go downstairs. She just standing there looking at the fridge. And then that's when I got down on one knee. And I pretty much proposed. You know, I pretty much said, you know, how I felt again, and I felt like she was the one. I definitely hope she felt the same. If not, I, you know, just did all this for nothing. And then she accepted my proposal. So
yeah. And a lot of people, I just want y'all to understand, you know, he's getting off into the story to how he proposed. But, you know, like we said, Tyrell's a respectable young man, you know what I'm saying? And he did run it by us, you know what I'm saying? He had a conversation with me and Amber's mother. And, you know, we knew what it was, but we didn't know when it was going to happen, you know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, he thought of a plan. He put it in motion. And you got to understand something about Tyrell, and y'all can hear it from the discussion. He's a go-getter. You know, if he wants something, he's going to go get it. So, Amber, at this whole time that you go downstairs to this refrigerator and you open the refrigerator, what was you thinking?
I was genuinely confused. I don't know what. Okay, because the first part, this is like you said, it was around Thanksgiving. So I want to say we both had come back up here to Dallas for Thanksgiving, and we went back down there. So I think at the time, like he said, I was going to the refrigerator probably to eat some leftovers, y'all. Because I think we were about to go. We were about to go on like an errand or something, right?
I don't know.
But he was like waiting on me to like eat or do whatever I was supposed to do in the refrigerator. I opened it, anybody knows me knows I'm a Dr. Pepper drinker. So I was
Yeah.
like, why is all this Coke in here? Like, this is weird. And then I read it, and so I don't know. I just froze, and I was just like, "Was he supposed to be here right now?" Like, I opened it, ain't you supposed to like? Yeah, like so. I'm literally like this at the refrigerator, and he coming down like, "Are you gonna react?" And I'm thinking, "Are you gonna get on your knee?" Because I'm confused. This says, "Will you marry me?" It really did catch me off guard, and I want to say maybe like 2 months, maybe a month or so prior to that, we went to the mall and we did look at rings in the store. But that was purely like, I'm not one of those girls that's like, well, when I was going to get a ring, when you going to propose? Like, we were just looking just to see, like, what kind of rings do you like? I thought this was going to be, like, way in the future. And he had gotten the ring that I liked out the store. But, yeah, that's from my point of view. I was just shocked.
So you had no clue.
No clue.
Nothing.
Even after looking at the rings, like that was like hypothetical. Like it was just kind of like, because at that point he had you graduated? Yes.
Yeah.
He had graduated. I transferred from Sam Houston. It was about to start nursing school in Houston, actual Houston, Texas, at UT. So in my mind, we're not getting engaged until I graduate, until I'm done, until like that. Right. It wasn't on my mind like that.
Had y'all ever talked about when or the possibility of marriage in the future?
Like, I think we both knew we were like in a committed relationship and like we could see marriage, but it was never like, okay, so around 2016 you're gonna like it never came up like that. I never put that type of pressure on it.
So when he broke it to you like that, you read the words, he got down on his knee. I mean, how was you feeling? Like, what in your mind did you, off the top, want to say yes, or was you second guessing yourself? Did you feel that this was the right person for you, or do you feel that he was jumping the gun?
So I off the bat wanted to say yes. My only thought was like, right now, like you think like, oh, I'm gonna get engaged, like, oh, we gotta get married next year or something. How is this gonna happen? And then my second thought was like, ooh, thank God he did this in private, because I had already made it clear to him I'm not a public display of affection type of person. So please don't propose to me in front of 99,000 people, because I don't like it. I'm awkward. I don't like that kind of stuff. And then I was like, dang, I wonder if mom and them knew. Like, I'm so confused right now. And he had told like one of my line sisters, I think. And she knew about it. She told me after the fact. But yeah, those are my 3 thoughts. I didn't have any reservations. I was just like, oh Lord, who's gonna pay for this wedding? The girl's still in school.
But you know, y'all heard what she just said who's gonna pay for this wedding? But you know, the wedding, then we'll get back to the wedding. But you know, it was an extravagant wedding, man. It was a beautiful wedding. You got some people in here that are looking at the show. They attended the wedding, so they know it was a great wedding. So as this proposal happened, and then after, you know, you said yes, how did was the relationship getting better after the proposal, or y'all still was going through some hiccups?
No, I would say for the most part, from my perspective, everything was always good. Like, I would say the times me and Amber would argue in the earlier days of our relationship was when things would just get bad, but for the most part, it was always good. So at this time, everything was good. We kept moving deeper into Houston. We kept saying every year, we're going back to Dallas. But every year we get another apartment deeper in Houston. So I'm pretty sure our Dallas family for sure was like, they're not coming back here. But but at the time, everything was good. She was in nursing school. I was doing my thing with taxes and CBS and, you know, other miscellaneous stuff. I was just trying to find my way at the time. And yeah, everything was just cozy.
Everything was cozy. So on your end, Amber, you know, Tyrell, you know, he's speaking it. So how did you feel how the relationship was going? Did you think that this could work out?
Yeah, definitely. Moving in together is gonna tell you, I feel like, everything you need to know about a person, the good, the bad. It's not spending the night. You won't have anywhere to go. It's just this one bedroom and us and our little starter furniture. But Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, of course, every day is not rainbows and flowers, but I wouldn't be like in a relationship or continue through with the engagement if it was just some toxic environment that I knew in the pit of my stomach was wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he held me down. He held me down through nursing school because, like he said, like we were moving into real apartments that weren't college apartments anymore. So at this point, he's helping me foot most of the bills because I'm still in school, so I'm not working like that. I'm working like little part-time jobs, trying to do that, and yep, he held me down while I finished getting my degree.
That's good stuff. So let's backtrack a little bit to the start of the relationship. At the start of the relationship, was y'all staying with each other, or was y'all living on separate quarters?
At first, it used to be like, she would come over sometimes, I would come over to her spot. And it was just kind of sporadic at first. But then it was like, okay, we definitely was still going back and forth. It was always with each other. Mm-hmm. And then it got to a point where, some things happened, with the people she was staying with at the time. So then that's when she just pretty much was, that's when she pretty much lived with me in my apartment for the rest of the time. We were in Huntsville.
Yeah, I kind of made myself at home. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah. So, Tyrell.
But I did have an apartment I was still paying for. I just didn't stay there.
Tyrell, he just said that, they were staying together, some hiccups with Amber, with the people that she was, staying with. And I'm going to let her mother touch on that little situation about, the time that she had to make a guest appearance in Huntsville.
Oh, well, it was pretty clear. I mean, Amber called us one night and she had gotten into a little altercation with some girls or some roommates. I can't remember who all the girls were involved, but it was an altercation. And as a mother, if your daughter called you and she's somewhere and you 3 or 4 hours away, well, 2.5 to 3 hours away at that time, and it's late and you're like, what? They're doing what? And they were trying to gang up on my daughter. So, hey, I put my shoes on and I rolled out, and it was me, my mama, Corey, and one of his friends at the time. And we just rolled out. And unfortunately, that had to be the first time that Tyrell actually met me, is when I was down there acting out because they were messing with my child.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that was the first time that Tyrell met Amber's mother. And at that time, I remember it vaguely. Got a phone call from Amber.
It was like August.
Amber talking. And I'm sitting there like, Kanisha, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
I got to y'all. I probably made it to Huntsville in like
yes.
about an hour and a half.
And the thing about it is, I couldn't go. I wasn't gonna go because I know how I am, and I didn't want to end up in the Huntsville jail. But me and Makai stayed, and I just, and Huntsville is like 2 hours and 45, about 2 hours and 45 minutes here away. And I'm telling you, Kanisha and her mother and her brother, they got down there so fast. I'm like, you there already? And y'all got to take it like, I mean, I'm glad everything worked out, but, it's like, that's something like Kanisha said, that a mother is going to protect her child, and, things happen for a reason. So she got out of that situation, and that was the hero right there. He came with the Superman cape on, and he saved her. You know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of funny because, like, dating somebody and y'all living with each other from the start, it's kind of similar to me and Amber's mother's situation, when we first started dating. But y'all gonna hear our story. But it's kind of crazy. So after that time, y'all move in. We're gonna speed, forward. Y'all did the engagement. You proposed to her, and at that time, how was you feeling that you got that engagement part and that proposal out, Tyrell, and she accepted? How was you feeling?
I felt good. I felt like she was gonna say yeah. I feel like for the most part I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do.
You
so
got it.
She have no reason.
Yeah.
So we was just just going through the motions up until she finished nursing school, and that way we can just really start just planning this wedding and making that happen.
Okay. So after that, how did you break the news to your side of the family?
I just called them. I just called everybody, told them what was going on. They congratulated me.
Did they know because I remember when you called me.
Mhm.
And did they know about Amber before you called them?
Oh yeah.
When you were dating?
Oh yeah. I don't play them games. So we gotta meet each other's family, because that's an important piece of a relationship too. You gotta be comfortable around, your in-laws. So
Right.
if that's not, the situation, me personally, I wouldn't make a move to, marry somebody for the long term if it's going to be a turbulent relationship.
I got a question for you, and it could be for both of y'all. Is it a deal breaker for you if you can't, or if the in-laws, or if the family, or if it may have been somebody that you didn't get along with in the family? Would that have changed your mind?
One person, nah. One person, definitely not. But if it's like, for whatever reason, I'm just bumping heads with a lot of people in the family, to me, yes, that's a deal breaker. It's unfortunate, especially if me and, Amber, if that was the circumstance, and me and Amber had a good relationship, but I just don't think it's, fair to myself or her for me to, be telling her she can't be around her family, or she trying to, act like she don't understand where I'm coming from. So I just feel like I would just, move on from that.
Okay.
And that's respect, because it's crazy. Like, Tyrell kind of reminds me of a younger version of me. Tyrell gonna get in where he fit in. So when Tyrell first came around, man, it wasn't like he wasn't shy or nothing. He would come in. Tyrell likes to play dominoes, cards, and he would come in, and me and Tyrell, we had many battles on the domino tables, the card tables. So Tyrell, when we first met Tyrell, he came in and he was family. You know what I'm saying? He just, a lot of people meet, your folks and stuff, and they kind of like standoffish and stuff. That wasn't Tyrell. If we were drinking something, Tyrell drinking too. So it wasn't like he was just sitting back in the cut, and then you got to go home, and then you got to listen to your partner and be like, why was you acting so standoffish with my family? That was never the case with Tyrell. Tyrell came in, and he got in where he fit in.
The food is ready. Oh, all right. And it wasn't like,
Yes.
How you try to sit and you try to wait on everybody else to go in the kitchen and make their plate.
Yeah.
Tyrell was like, nah, okay, wash his hands, and he ain't waiting on y'all.
And he ready to go. And see, and that's another thing. When my wife cooks and Tyrell and them would come over, like Canisius said, Tyrell he wouldn't wait for nobody. He could be the first one in the kitchen making his plate. And I'd be like, man, this guy can eat. But the thing about it is, if you look at his physique, as much as he eat, like, where is it going? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is it going? Like, I mean, him and Amber, they like as of today, they like exploring new restaurants and stuff like that, tasting new food, and my wife does as well. So they come together, put this thing together, and they go out on the brunch and stuff and taste these new food, along with my brother-in-law, Jacory.
Yes.
But like I said, Tyrell, like a well-respected young man, carries himself well. He's a good guy, man. And like I said, he just got him where he fit in, man. So now we're gonna flip it off onto Amber. So Amber, when you met, Tyrell's family, and the first time that you was introduced and went over to the house, what was the comfort level?
Oh, I was nervous because I feel like anytime you meet somebody's parents or their family for the first time, it's just kind of nerve-wracking. Like, you don't know what you're walking into. Like, somebody can describe their mom or their sister, whatever, all day, but until you meet them, you truly just don't know what you're walking into. I don't feel like I'm a hard person to get along with, but some people kind of perceive me as standoffish in the beginning, so it's just kind of like, having to feel somebody out. But I knew for sure, I'm like, okay, I gotta get along with his mama, and I gotta get along with his sisters. But it was cool. His mama is a very, like, laid-back person, like, almost kind of like Tyrell. Like, one of those people is just like, if you don't like them, it's probably, like, your fault. Because it's nothing they can do to really just upset you. Same with his sisters. They have different personalities, but nothing to where I would put myself in a situation to even, like, clash with them. Like, I get along with all his sisters, too. And the rest of his family is cool. Like, his family dynamic is different than ours, because we're a bit more rambunctious and loud and lively and kind of,
so
how we are. Listen, this is how we are. But his family is more like a bit more reserved, a little bit more traditional family roles, like how I kind of talk and banter and stuff with y'all. He doesn't necessarily talk with his mama like that, or his grandma. But it's cool. It's a nice little switch up.
Nice balance.
Yeah.
So at that time, was it you didn't have to you didn't have to force your way; it just came natural.
Yeah, like they didn't like hit me with the 10th degree or nothing. They
You have
didn't
to feel
bombard.
like-
Yeah, I didn't have to feel like,
You had to be a certain
way.
Yeah.
My man told Amber all the time, like, I stay out of my kids' business. I just feel like that's their relationship and they got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And, you know, so the only time I feel like a parent should feel the need to step in, of course, if I'm just disrespecting Amber.
Mhm.
And y'all can tell. Then, I feel like you definitely should step in.
Oh, yeah.
But outside of that, you know, you just got to let people go through their growing pains.
Okay. So when y'all was dating, how long was y'all dating before the proposal came?
Year and a half had to be.
Yeah, I'm just saying no more than 2 years.
No more than 2 years?
Yeah.
So Tyrell and Amber, let the people out there know how long y'all been married.
So now it's been 2 years? No, going on 3? Yeah,
This August will be 3
And
years.
I'm like,
listen, it's the quarantine. You're like, what year is it?
Yeah, all these days running together now.
Yeah, this year will make
2018,
3
right?
years. Yeah, we got married in 2018.
So they'll be married for 3 years in August.
Mhm.
And, you know, like I said, you know, we have the young couples on. This is a younger couple that's, you know, been married for 2 years, going on 3 years. So now that y'all married, has anything changed in y'all's relationship? I see y'all both shaking y'all's heads.
Because we get that question all the time.
It shouldn't have to change.
Yeah, I don't get why people put this stigma on marriage. Like, as soon as you go through your ceremony, sign your name on the paper, like, you go home, and it's you
Everybody
in some
doesn't
type of
have a-
weird marriage bubble or something.
No, it's not
But
being
maybe-
weird, but
but
people
maybe-
want to know.
Yeah, but maybe some people are because they didn't, like, live together before. But I feel like, I mean, we were shacking up, but I feel like maybe we was kind of playing married before we were married. So I didn't put any more, like, pressure on us after we got. It was just like, all right, cool. We
Yeah.
about to keep rolling, doing what we're doing. I'm going to go to work. We're going to come home. We still going to date. We still going to hang out with our friends and,
Yeah, we
like,
still
be
do all that.
normal.
Right.
We still going, we're a young couple.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I feel like it made that transition like real easy, where nothing really felt like it changed because you know you had them difficult conversations early. You're like, these are the non-negotiables. This is what I need to see from you. You know, you have things that you want to see in your partner. So, I wouldn't propose if Amber hadn't shown me that. So I just feel like once we went into the marriage situation, nothing changed. It was still the same.
People grow and change, of course, and
Yeah, you're
still
come-
learning, but I don't feel like at this point there's anything about myself or about himself that would surprise us. Like, it's nothing that Tyrell could do or say where I would be like, oh, I didn't know that.
Knowing that well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, that's interesting, man, because a lot of people would like to know, especially the young couples getting, dating and then preparing themselves for, marriage. When they always say like the first 2 or 3 years of marriage is difficult.
Yeah.
But the way that y'all displaying it and saying it, that everything was steady.
Mm.
So, on that front, that's good to break down for the young couples that are listening. So, like, right now, for your career that you're doing now, Tyrell, what are you doing right now as far as your career?
So I'm a claims adjuster for homeowners insurance. I also do taxes, but it's not like I'm just got a huge clientele base, but I pretty much just keep doing the same people I was doing like back, when I was doing it full time for H&R Block, and just focused on, just staying fit and healthy for myself since, me and Amber are, interested in starting a family.
Okay. All right. So Amber, as far as your career now, what do you got going on?
I am a nurse. Right now, I just started doing case management, working from home, and then I'm also back in school. I'm getting my master's, so I should be done with that by December. And God willing, hopefully after this, I'll have like a job with like a nursing school in Dallas. So I'll be like a faculty member or something.
Kudos to that. So now, for the young people that are out there listening, and y'all's relationship and you're married now, what kind of advice could y'all give the young people that are listening, that are in a relationship, that are looking forward to getting married? What kind of advice could y'all give them?
I would say just be willing to compromise. Have those difficult conversations earlier, so that way y'all can go ahead and make sure you have the right fit for each other. And then outside of that list, you have to be okay with that person having their differences. Like me, I'm a super early person. I can go to sleep. We're gonna sleep at 2 a.m. for some reason, I cannot sleep past 9 a.m. I will get up, you know. So Amber, you know, she can sleep in a little bit, and that's fine.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
A lot.
She loved naps.
Yes.
She loved naps. I can't. Got it honest. She probably
Nah.
That's one thing me and Amber do. We do get our naps. So I ain't gonna lie. I get
well,
my
what's
naps.
crazy? Okay, we ain't even gonna go through the sleep thing, but y'all, Tyrell is for sure early bird. I'm convinced at this point he has like some type of like morning anxiety or something, because he's like, if he has to use the restroom or if a little sliver of sunlight comes through the curtains,
it's
he's
time to
awake.
get
I
up.
gotta get up.
It's time to get up.
But then on the flip side, around 1 p.m., Tyrell's tired. He ready to take a nap.
It's just like me.
He ready to take a nap.
Why
That's
would
what-
you?
But
but-
me,
But I've knocked out
rather
everything
stay
I need to
Yeah,
do.
asleep,
exactly.
I've knocked
and
out
I'm
everything I
done
need
with
to
Thank
do.
you.
That's
Thank
me.
you. And
But-
see,
Staying asleep.
Yeah.
and
Anywho.
Kanisha be hating on my naps. You
He
know,
can get up
because
at 5 in the morning
I got-
and get his day started, which is all good. Why are
That's
you
cute.
up so early? That's cute, but
that's cute.
10 o'clock, you sleepy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, guys gotta understand. Like, at my
So just stay
job,
asleep.
I'm working from home, so I get up early, start my day, and when I get logged in, I knock out as much as I can. And then, like, you know, when my body it shuts down, so I gotta get me a
Yeah,
nap.
that's what you
You know what I'm saying? I
got.
gotta get a nap. But I'm up through the course of the night, and then one thing
But I
I don't
can
know
do
about
both.
my wife will keep me up. She'll want to conversate all night long. And it's that pillow top talk, and knowing that, you know,
Let's
her
not
job
go
is
there.
flexible. She can do what she
Let's
want
not
to
go
do,
there.
but I got to get up, and she want to talk. She want to talk to me all night long.
I normally sleep.
I am a night owl, but I've been like that since I was a kid. Am I wrong? Like
Yeah, I
I
mean,
always stay
yeah,
up late.
yeah.
Like, I function better at night. Like I can stay up.
As
2,
you
3
get
in the
older, that'll
morning,
start slowly
Yeah.
decreasing,
Yeah.
and you'll
Sure.
go to bed
and
earlier
I don't
and
want to go to
earlier.
sleep. Now I will say, if I know I got to get up early in the morning, I am a little bit more prone.
She'll still stay up later.
I still stay up later
Sure.
though. Like I'll be like,
And then just complain about it the next day.
Yeah, just be sad.
Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this? But every time they over here, they
No.
always run for the
Listen.
border straight upstairs. Like, they went to bed already?
When we're over here, most of the times me and Tyrell have already had a full day. And when I say a
And I'll be
full
getting up at
day,
4 in the morning.
he
most
getting
of the
up
time.
at
Well, some of the
4.
mornings,
I
when
might
do
have
this
gotten
stuff.
up at 7. We doing errands. We're running around.
Mm.
You know, we live on opposite ends of the earth. 'Cause
Stop
we're in
that.
Dallas.
Stop
So
that.
it's a 4-hour drive. And then, you know, over here, it's a fun time. It's a turn-up time. That's a, what is that called? Like a depressant in your system? That makes you sleepy.
On top of what you already got
Yeah,
going on.
so it just piles up, and then we gotta be the party poopers because we can't stay up till 4 a.m. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But my advice for young couples would be, like he said, to me, honestly, the major key in a relationship is learning how to argue. Like, most people don't know how to have arguments. They don't know how to have disagreements. It took me a long time, and him too, to like learn how to navigate that, because a lot of times I feel like people find themselves in arguments and y'all aren't even arguing about the same thing. You don't have to always, one person doesn't always have to say sorry or be apologetic. It's not always somebody's fault, I guess is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's just, I see
Agree
it the
to
way I
disagree.
see it, you see it the way you see it, but let's just work towards a way of navigating it next time, so that way it won't be a roadblock and we'll know how to get around it. And then, of course, compromise, but still find somebody you're compatible with.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, you gotta compromise, but you can't force it to me. Like, at the end of the day, you still gotta have some, like, core values and, like, be friends. Like, I feel like Tyrell, that's my husband, but that's my homeboy. Like, we can kick it, for real. Like,
So,
I
it's
don't,
just- it's just
yeah,
so
like,
relaxed.
that's
Be
my
that way.
friend. Like, there's no secret. You didn't see me look crazy. We walk around the house doing whatever. We can watch TV all day. We can go out. Like, we have, like, the type of personality where I can bring him anywhere. I can bring him to my mama's house, my friend's house. We can go to the bar, go to the restaurant.
She like her reality shows.
Yes.
I love my sports, and
We
we
know
both,
how to mesh
you
that.
know, yeah, we figured it out. So
He found.
That's a
I
good
watch
thing.
sports with him. Watch sports with your men, please.
Yeah.
Women.
Hey, it's crazy.
Even if you don't
I
understand
do think Mr. Simply Ball Dropping for introducing sports to me as a child, because that has helped me with my marriage.
She's grown in sports, y'all.
Yes.
That's impressive. And I always say that I like females that watch sports and get off into it. And sometimes when I hear females talk about sports, I was like, wow, man, that's just impressive to me. And, you know, the people that know Amber, you know, when she was a kid, you know, she did a lot of different things, but I used to always, you know, just watch sports, and that's the only thing she saw me watching. So when she sees that, it gravitates to a lot of people. So then, you know, I just started introducing her to different people, LeBron James and stuff like that. And she's a big LeBron James fan. She loves LeBron, and we can respect that. But I got a question for you guys. Somebody on Instagram said, "What do y'all enjoy most about being married?"
Just having your, I would say, your support.
Companionship.
Yeah, companionship. It's nice being able to, you know, when you're having a bad moment, being able to talk that out with somebody and let them give you perspective. Like, I have my strengths, Amber have her strengths. Like, I'm a real, like, cool person. I try to get along with everybody. Sometimes, you know, it ended up, you know, biting me in the ass or whatever. And that's when, you know, Amber has helped me with it, because she is very direct, you know, we ain't doing this time. So being able to have her in my corner with that, it kind of helped me now. I'm just like, you know what, Tyrell, you ain't got to be cool with everybody. Yeah. You know, and I've grown to, you know, just accept that. So now I'm more like, hey, I'm giving you the same energy you give me. That's just how it is. Because it can't always just be you just doing everything in a relationship.
And on the flip side, he's helped me, because I can be a bit of a hothead and like this is what it is. You made me upset. Like, I'm going full steam ahead. He's more like, okay, well, let's see it from their perspective. Yeah, like learn how to like communicate with different people who you don't necessarily mesh with. And he just like, I feel like, of course, in a marriage, like you have a helpmate. Mm-hmm. Like where I fall short, he honestly like picks up. Like sometimes I have issues with timeliness. He doesn't, for the most part. He can help me with that. Like if sometimes I'm the person, I could put stuff off. I could put it off. I could put it off. I could put it off. This is my agenda for tomorrow. By 10 o'clock, I'm going to be done sweeping and mopping. Yeah. And then
Tyrell does do that. He does do that.
Yeah. Like, we are going to have an itinerary, okay?
I love it.
It is no, we're going to do it tomorrow. No, yeah.
Let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
let's get this done.
It's not a list. You're going to keep putting it off. Yeah. I just feel like you're going to put it off.
Yeah. Tyrell wants to do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I recall an episode, I said about a couple weeks ago, Tyrell said, when Amber, she must have went somewhere, and Tyrell said, I could have been getting this done at this particular time, knocking this out. But it's crazy that we was out their house, and I was telling Tyrell about his yard and the yard work.
Let's talk about the house. That nobody knows about a house.
Yeah, nobody knows about the house. We'll get off in that. But one quick question before we move forward. Somebody said, how do y'all feel about being spiritually connected?
Oh, that's a good one. That's really important, and honestly being like equally yoked, and like I don't think we had like a big difference, because I mean both of our families were Christian. You know, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie like we just go to church every Sunday, but I feel as if our relationship and our outlook on religious things and spiritual things are the same. So
definitely, I would say, for the most part, like I was always a person. I'm a big reader. I have my moments where I could just sit down. Like I have a goal. I'm knocking out a book a month. You know, I went through my period with that, and during that time, I'm also reading books like How to Pray Better, or how to understand the Bible and how it applies still to this day. You know, and that's due to having friends in my corner, such as like one of my frat brothers. He always tell me like certain things to check out to kind of help my understanding of the Bible and how it applies to everything that we have going on. And at times, I would even I wouldn't say force it on Amber, but when we having those late night talks, sometimes I would bring it up to her, and Amber is always good with giving her opinion on things. So I would ask her how she feel about certain things. So it's just having an understanding and knowing how she take the whole spiritual walk as well, and making sure that we're on the same type of journey when it comes to that.
And I'm a little different now. I'm a nurse, and I've done a lot of reading in my day, but I don't particularly like to read anymore. So if I'm going to do a Bible study, I'm going to flip on a YouTube video and have somebody kind of talk to me.
I like the audio better.
Right. If I'm going to study the Bible, I'm probably going to take the route of doing my devotionals, so where I can get like little chunks in, and I don't feel like I'm reading for 45 and 50 minutes at a time. So it's meeting in the middle. Then we used to have this thing where we would sit up and read the same
Yeah.
passages, and then we would come back together and talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. It's just kind of one of those things, when you, as an adult, we should do better, making time, for our spiritual, growth. But, you just have times where you just feel like you have so much on your plate, from life, and you're just trying to balance it all. But I will say that, me and Amber, we always come back to it. We'll recognize it like, man, it's been a while, so, we'll watch our YouTube videos, we'll get back to our study, and we'll, start, looking at churches or visiting at churches. So it's been one of those things for us. And
it's kind of crazy. And one of the followers said, "Don't let anyone or anything break the 3 chord."
Mm-hmm.
So that's respect. And it's kind of funny when he was talking about, Tyrell does a lot of reading. And see, the one thing about Amber, man, Amber is I always tell people this. Amber is real intelligent. And sometimes you just don't want to big up your child and just be throwing it out there just to be throwing it out there. But when I throw it out there, it's with sincerity. Because as a young lady in school, Amber was so book smart. Like I've always told her mother, like, Amber, Amber could do basically what she wanted to do, but Amber always got her schoolwork done. I mean, she A's and B's. I mean, very intelligent. Like, she had leeway to, be up, on her phone and doing what she had to do. But Amber always got her schoolwork done. I mean, it's like I tell her mother, like, man, Amber is smart. Like, Amber knows a lot of stuff that me and her mother don't know. And I mean, she just, and that's proven, man. And, she graduated from high school with high honors. You went off to college, graduated, and, kudos to that. Like I tell people, she's very intelligent. And, I marvel at that, man. You know what I'm saying? When you're raising a kid and raising a child and you're bringing them up and you see things that they're doing, you be like, man, how is she doing this, man? Like, she is smart. I be like Canisius, Amber is smart. Like, some of the stuff that we might not know, Amber got the answer. So, I mean, I just give her kudos to that. So, salute.
Thank you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just was always a school person. I don't know if that's nerdy or what, but I enjoyed school. I feel like people made school a little bit more than what it was. Like,
definitely.
you pay attention, you do what you get, and it's almost like a competition. Like, I want to have highest grades in the class. Like, I want them to be like, oh yeah, ask Amber because she knows. I marveled in being smart, and I think I knew too. School was my way out. Just you get your grades and get your stuff together so you can go to college and do what you want to do with your life.
Yeah,
I wasn't about to be a star athlete. I wasn't about to be a rapper, a singer. So I had to be my schoolwork.
That's good stuff. So let's talk about where you guys are now. You just purchased your first home. How did that come about? How did you guys, because I know at a young age, a lot of people are not at your age really looking to purchase a home. They're looking for their next apartment or their next rental home or a starter rental home. What made you want to say, we want to purchase a home like now?
It was,
I would say we always had the plan to where we knew, for one, personally, we knew home ownership is a big deal, and not even until you go into the home ownership, the home buying process, you still truly don't know everything that it entails or what having a house entails. But we knew, and Tyrell being the person that he is, researching things, he's like, okay, like, we're young, and yes, most people may not purchase homes at this age, but this is the perfect age to buy one because most loans are 25 to 30 years. If I wait until I'm 45, which it doesn't matter how old you are when you buy your first home, but if you can help it, you want to get one while you're younger.
Definitely.
So you can start paying it off in retirement and all that good stuff. And we knew we wanted to buy a house before having kids. So it's just kind of like a timeline thing for them. But we had set it in our minds that once we came back to Dallas, that we were going to try to save up, be in an apartment for a year, and then start looking at houses. And to be honest, even after the year was coming up in our apartment, it still didn't really feel like it was the right time.
It was abrupt.
It was
abrupt.
It was very abrupt. It was just kind of like one day, like,
I came.
You want to go look at houses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a good thing. No.
Right.
That's how that marriage proposal went too.
Right.
It was
Like,
abrupt.
Yeah.
I said, if we gonna get a house, I said, I know we're not trying to get a house right now, or we're not in the position we felt at the time. I said, let's just go see what we like. Let's just go look at houses so we can get, come up with an ideal of the perfect house for us. So we did that, and then we just started talking to one of my frat brothers who's a real estate agent, Roger Rose. If y'all need a real estate agent,
shout him out.
Yeah, he ended up telling us what we needed to do, and he said this is really possible. And he ended up setting us up with someone, which we, the first, broker kind of, was weak, but he bounced back and gave us somebody else who was, much better. Sheila, she ended up giving us the rundown on what was needed for our house, and we sent it, and we had all of our records already in folders, so it wasn't a hassle with us going to go get stuff. With me, doing taxes, I had all me and Amber tax documents. It was easy getting the W-2s, all that type of stuff. So we sent it all the same night. We talked to this lady. 30 minutes, all the documents sent to her within 30 minutes.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and still at this point, truly not knowing
if we really
what our budget is gonna be, where we can live. Like you still you're looking at houses. You kind of have this fairy tale in your head, oh, I'm gonna be able to get in whatever type of house, and it's probably not gonna be that bad. We make decent money, our credit's not bad.
It was
how bad can it be?
It was a range. Amber had another idea. That was one of the things that we had to compromise on. So me, I'm I don't know how much houses cost.
We wanted to start at that.
Yeah, I don't know how much houses cost, but at the time, I'm telling Amber, I'm man, I think a good budget for us is between $150,000 and $200,000. Amber what? I want me $400,000, $300,000. No, she said, $400,000. It was something. It was something high, and at the time I was like, man, I think that's kind of a bit much for where we are right now. You have a such thing as start a house, make that work for you, and then hopefully you can get out of that on top, so that you can use that extra money, go get your forever home. At the same time, it'll allow us a chance to understand the whole homeowner situation by the upkeeps of it and everything else that comes with it, instead of just jumping into this huge commitment that we don't know what we're getting into.
And thank God we did do that. Looking back at it, I'm really thankful that we honestly got something that's well within our budget. Starting to look at houses is looking at little puppies. You might go in the pet store oh, let's just go look at the dogs, and then you're oh, it's cute, I want to take one home. And then we got serious and we was okay, we're about to try to buy a house. Why not? Let's just go for it, see what it is. Our realtor made us really comfortable and easing our mind into thinking you don't have to have $50,000 to buy a house. You don't have to have that at your disposal. So we're just okay, pull out our little savings, go through the process, see, where we would like to stay, that's within our budget and the style home. And we honestly, y'all, I tell people all the time that 30 to 45 days was a very trying 30 to 45 days, because the home buying process is not for the weak. They will listen. They know. They bought a house
I can tell towards the end of that process, before we actually closed on our house, it was starting to get to Amber. Me, I'm the more upbeat person. I'm we can't both be in here, depressed or sad. So I would try to, stay upbeat about it. We're gonna bounce back. We're gonna do this. But look, after a while, Amber was tired of, be trying to keep the upbeat spirit. She it is what it is. It's looking we ain't gonna be able to get it.
Going into it, nobody told me that you could look at houses, put in offers, and it's so many different things that could go wrong that are just simply not in your control. Houses don't appraise, or you get the inspection done and they find this and this is wrong with the house. It's not worth the purchase. It was just every time we found something that was in our budget. Yes, we get out. It felt we was getting over one hurdle, and then we would get knocked 3 steps back. And I was just okay. And at the same time was ticking to where we had to be out of our lease at that point. We had given our notice, so it was
we put all our eggs in one basket.
Yeah, we don't find somewhere.
We don't have an apartment.
Yeah,
we don't know if we're gonna have this house.
You're in limbo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the time, when we thought this house that we own now, it was about to fall through. Amber was really, down about it. She ended up going to, I think she was at work or something. And I was sitting at my work desk, because I was working at home. And I was man, I'm going to call this lawyer. I'm going to call him. I'm going to see what he's talking about. So I called him. I said, hey, look, I know you never communicated with me. I said, I'm one of the buyers, trying to, go after this home on this street or whatever. I said, look, this is what's going on. I said, my wife really wants this house. I said, and the disconnect seems to be financial reasons. Do you feel like at all you can move? I said, I'm not trying to tell you how to price your house. You built this, you know what it's worth. So I'm not here to just try to play you like that, but are you willing to move? When he told me that he was, I threw my number out there. I said, okay, this is how much I can come up with. I could have probably came up with more than that, but I said, this is how much can I do? And he was like, okay, well, if you come up with that, I can make it happen. So I'm like, okay, I made him move. So
the other backstory was the house we got, for those who don't know, we have a new construction house, but it's in an older neighborhood.
Yes.
So it's like one of only like 3 houses on the whole block that's new. So when we got the house appraised, the appraiser didn't give the value of the home that the seller was trying to sell it for.
Oh.
And if you ever buy a house, you know that it has to appraise, or the bank is not going to give you a loan worth what you're trying to get the house for. So let's say you're looking at a house and they want to sell it for $500,000 and it appraises for $470,000. Well, that's $30,000 is where it's going to come from. You have to now pay out of pocket on top of, we all know, all the other expenses you're coming out. Closing costs, appraisals, inspections, and this and that. So, yeah, Tyrell negotiated. My spirit was broken. That was about the 3rd or 4th house that we had, like, put an offer in, going through, like, the whole process. I'm not even a crier. And I had a little moment.
Well, your
felt
homeboy had
emotional.
your back, though.
I felt emotional right with Amber, I'm telling you. When she was calling me, telling me, she was like, okay, so what happened? What I was like, what happened? I thought it was, no, we're not going to get that one. No, now they're saying this. And I'm like, I just told Amber, what's supposed to happen will happen.
Yep.
If the house is for you, you will get it. And she called me, a couple days later and was like, we got the house. She was like, I think we pretty much we got it. I was like, she was like, I think we got it, but I think we got it. I was like, okay. See,
it was crazy. It's crazy because we was in a similar situation where I was telling Canisius at the time that we was getting our house. Now, Canisius, she wanted a straight new build. Nobody ever lived in this house. She wanted new construction. Our realtor, shout out to Kay. When we was, in the home buying process, we found a particular home that we liked, but then we was leaving. We was sold on that. We was going to put an offer in. Our realtor hit us with, she said she found a new construction. It's in like, what was it, phase 4 or something like that. So. And we go back out there Sunday to look at it. We came out to the house. It was a construction zone. The house wasn't even all the way framed up. And the guy was telling us the floor plan. We saw the floor plan. And Kanisha said, this is the one I want. So I was like, okay. So, the builder, he was like, we go down there. Y'all want to put an offer in today? He was like, nah, you moving a little too fast. So, he said, well, I feel that it might not be here because this is the last home of this model that's being built in this area. So you might lose out on it. He was like, nah. And like Kanisha just said, if it's for you, it's for you. So at the time, our realtor was pregnant and, we was waiting for her. We didn't want to deal with nobody else. And this guy was like, nah, I don't think the house is going to be there. So we left that day. We didn't put an offer in. And Kay called me up talking about she had to go in. Well, I saw a post that she made. She was delivering that baby early. And, she was a chance to call the builder and was like, is that house still there? And that house was still there. So on Thanksgiving, 2018? I think it was 2018, we put the offer in on the house and they accepted it and we finally moved in. But as we're talking about houses, like I tell Tyrell, man, I do my own yard work. And they have a nice house. Went out there for his birthday party and I look and I was like, man, Tyrell, what you gonna do with this? What you gonna do with that? He was like, I'm gonna pay somebody. Nah, Tyrell, you don't pay nobody, dude. You do your own yard work. You do your own yard work. So I guess he finished up on a project because he sent me a picture the other day and it's real nice in the front. So that came out real well. So, man, kudos to the Williams for purchasing a home and doing everything.
Yes. Big accomplishment.
Is there anything else that y'all got going on?
Just living life.
living life. Man, that's good stuff. So, here on the Simply Ball Dropping podcast, before we wrap up, like we do here, we like to get 3 fun facts from all our guests. So, I'll start with you, Tyrell. Give the people 3 fun facts that you like to do outside of work. Just something that you like to do in your personal time.
I like to work out. I also like to cook. And watch sports and big kick it with my homie over here.
Your homie, big kicking with your homie. Big kicking with your homie, huh?
Little mama.
Little mama. Yeah, little mama.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
little
medium
mama.
mama now.
Yeah. All right, so that's good. So Amber, what are 3 fun facts about yourself outside of your work and your profession, like you do on your spare time?
Big TV junkie, like reality, not even only reality TV, but like scripted TV shows, like movies and stuff. Like I can sit up and do that stuff and dissect it, and I'm a real big TV person, honestly. If I could get into like acting or writing or something, I honestly think I would be dope at that. If I had like another life, yeah.
Another life.
Second hobby, eating Tyrell's cooking, or whoever is cooking that's clean and they can cook, i.e. my mama. You know, going to the brunch club dates with my family. And my third hobby, hair. I like to change my hair. That was part of our story. You see me next time, I probably won't look like this, but it's me. So let's switch it up.
So we got one question before we leave. Who's the better cook?
Tyrell. We ain't gonna lie. We can keep 100. He is the better cook. He has more patience and preciseness than I do when it comes to cooking. But my credit, because I've come
stepped up.
Amber's come a long way.
She
Amber's come a long way.
She will do a mean smothered chicken.
Okay, at me
and chicken
I'm
strips.
coming along. Okay.
I like the French toast.
You like
Yeah,
French
the French
toast.
French
Yeah.
toast.
We got favorites around here.
Tyrell, he does a little bit on the healthy side, and I love it. I love them asparagus. And hey, y'all check out
Fitness Chef. See,
Fitness Chefs.
I told you that when we opened up the show, man. He has a YouTube channel called The Fitness Chefs.
Great
And if you
recipe.
put the Fitness Chefs together, you know what I'm saying? You know, he got a sweater on, so you don't see the physique. But he does, you know, him and his partner, they do, you know, exercises to get fit, and they cook. They give you meals that you can eat. So that's why Amber said he is the better cooker. But I got one question for Amber. Who got the better spaghetti, me or your mother?
Oh my God! Don't even.
Amber, keep it real. Keep it real.
God,
Keep
yeah.
it real.
It depends on how you like.
No,
Yes.
stop. Let Amber answer.
I'm not even. Listen.
Keep it real.
I got too many dishes. So
No, we're not talking about other dishes. We're talking about spaghetti.
Okay, let me tell y'all. Growing up, I ate so much spaghetti that I don't even fool with
Yeah,
spaghetti
I
like
mean-
that right now. So that's first. Like I don't even really care.
Okay, well,
But
stop
it
right
depends
there.
on how
No,
you
no,
like
hold
your
up.
spaghetti.
Stop
Let
right
me
there.
finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So mama makes her spaghetti more, I don't know, is that like more Americanized? Like everything's mixed together. Yeah,
It's
like
like
the
pasta.
sauce.
Kanisha,
Yeah.
let her
He
answer.
does it to where he puts his little sauce on top and, you know, the meat on top of the noodles. It's not mixed together. But you know what? I'll give you that because you don't do too much cooking besides that.
They already know
So
that.
if you want to have the spaghetti, I guess have it.
Yeah.
But I'm
Hey.
never going to request it.
I know. Hey, but you're not going to request it now because you're not into spaghetti.
I'm not.
But when you was young and I made that spaghetti, hey, look, when I made that, see that hate. Why y'all gotta hate? Can I get some? Can I get some?
Crawfish man.
And you
Tyrell,
can
you
fry
gonna hate on me like
Yes,
that, man?
you can fry
Man,
meat
hey.
turkey.
fry me
I
and
wasn't
turkey.
there.
Hey, no, but you gotta understand. She
Ain't nobody
stated.
had this real famous spaghetti in about 15 years.
That's what I'm saying, because-
Tyrell ain't never had your
Hey,
cooking outside
hey.
the grill.
But because I don't do that outside of the grill, Canisius does the cooking. I give her that. But see, the thing about it, Amber, I like how you kept it real. You don't prefer spaghetti now,
No.
but when I cooked it when you was young, you was on it.
I was
you
hungry.
Ah! See how they do me, man. See how they do me. But
So, we got one other question. This is a good question. It says, what do Amber and Tyrell admire about Kareem and Canisius' relationship?
I feel like they are really fun. Like they have fun around each other. That's one of the things I admire the most. I've said that on several occasions. That's one of the things I really enjoyed when I met them for the first time. So I would say just how they're able to have fun, and also they're not like antisocial. You can put them in any setting and they can get along with everybody that's around. So I definitely
I came a long
appreciate
way.
that. Appreciate that. Appreciate
I would
that.
say I enjoy the yin and yang. Like they really are like different. Like Mama is like really like a girly girl like woman. Like they have like more traditional gender roles in their marriage, but I think it's beautiful. It works for them. Like seriously, Kareem gonna be the handyman. He's gonna put together the TV stands, hang the TVs, put speakers in the thing. Mama's gonna cook, make sure it's clean. Like it's cute. And then
We're cute.
real cute. And then you always gotta respect longevity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
Like it's not an easy thing to stay married these days.
And then if y'all ever could just see them when they just kind of having that
Look, Phil.
comedic sessions, it's the most hilarious thing.
Stop that.
Yeah,
Stop that.
No, that's how real
Yeah, hey, hold up. Before he says that, I'm gonna get off into a little backstory. It's always something that goes down, and I'll be like, man, y'all stop that. So one day, man, Tyrell called me off guard. We was downstairs, and something happened, and Tyrell's response, go ahead and break it down.
I say, Kareem. He said, yeah, what's up, real? I say, stop that.
He just called me off guard, so it was kind of funny, man. But, like I said, even my family has met Tyrell, man. It's kind of crazy, man. Tyrell, like I said, he gets in where he fits in, and Amber, I just have to say, Eric is on here, but we'll leave that out.
Friend.
But hey,
Who?
Eric.
Oh, Eric.
Eric, Amber said,
Eric
hey,
is-
friend.
I'm Eric's favorite.
I
see you.
Yeah, but that's great. So, is there anything else y'all would like to say before we wrap it up?
Oh, we definitely appreciate you for having us.
Keep
This
your
is
mask
fun.
on. We're still in a pandemic, okay? And
Preach.
Nurse Amber is gonna give y'all some advice, okay? Y'all stop this gathering. Wash your hands. Get your Lysol and stay healthy.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say, my co-host, Miss Canisius Sappington?
No. Oh yeah, I always have to say something. I feel like I have to say something. I just want to say how proud I am of Amber and Tyrell. I'm not gonna get into a whole mushy situation, but you guys are, the epitome of a young Black couple going to great places. So keep up the good work. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, and breaking these generational curses,
Yes.
and doing what you're supposed to do. I give y'all big kudos.
Can we do a podcast on generational curses?
Oh yeah. Anytime you want to come
of course.
back, now you feel comfortable. Now you
Yes,
feel
I'm
comfortable. Now you feel comfortable. She in that thing now. And I like a few things I like to say before we close. Like I say, I'm gonna piggyback on what Kanisha say. I admire their relationship, and it's their interaction with each other. Like every time they come around here, it's the interaction. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, as the no titles back then, but being married now, and nothing has switched up. They have fun together. They generally have fun together, and it's a lot of people know like in board games and playing dominoes and spades, a lot of people, they don't play with their partners. They don't play with their significant others. But these two, they ride for each other. You know what I'm saying? And they generally have fun together. So everything they do, man, they do it together, man. And it's just, the setback, man, it just gives you chills, man. And then, to raise somebody and, and for her to, go on doing the things that she's doing in life and, getting married and settling down, and like you said, at a young age, purchasing a home, it's just remarkable, man. So anybody out there that have kids and their kids are doing big things, man, sometimes, you might not tell them all the time. It always might take a setting like this for you to say it, and then you watch their emotions. It's pretty lovely. So for everybody else that's out there watching the Simply Ball Dropping podcast, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Marriage Chronicles. And we're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast.
That's cool.
Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all media.